ever wanted to start a podcast? Have you thought to yourself, well, Morgan's doing it. Why can't I? Anchor is the easiest way to start your podcast that you've been dreaming about. It has all the tools you need in one place. And the best part is, y'all, it's free. So whether you're doing it on your phone, your computer, or a tablet or iPad, it has everything you need to create and edit your podcast. You can distribute on all the major podcast platforms. So basically, what are you waiting for? Definitely go and download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Young Black Misses. I am your host, Morgane F. And today's episode, well, I'm taking you on a little journey. Okay, so in the main event, we're talking about BIPOC Mental Health Month. And then I kind of get a little gossipy in the Shaking My Curls segment. Just one word for you. Entanglement, y'all. So I can't wait for you to hear this episode, and it's been a really cool week for me. If you're finding me via my panel or my article that I've done with Mental Health America, welcome. Thank you for following me over here on the podcast and giving me a listen. So let's get into the show. Let's play my favorite theme song. Hit it. Shaking my curls. I'm shaking my curls. I'm shaking my curls. Shaking my curls. I'm shaking my curls. I'm shaking my curls. I'm shaking my curls. Shaking my curls. Okay. As many of you may have heard the phrase entanglement over this past week, if you're listening to this live. And so what I'm referring to, and I guess I'll give a little backstory, and this is between three people, Jada Pinkett Smith, Will Smith, and August Alsina. And I am not a gossip girl. This is a marriage podcast, so I am going to bring it to marriage. But so a few weeks back, maybe even a month ago, the artist August Alsina had a sit-down interview with a popular DJ called Angela Yee. These names are irrelevant, but I'm just giving you a picture, or I'm just painting a picture for you right now about his upcoming album. And then Angela posed the question to August, just giving him the moment to speak candidly about the allegations of him being in relations with Jada Pinkett Smith. And so he was like, I'm gonna say my piece. Whoop-de-whoop. Yeah, we were together. If I never loved again, I would die a happy man. Pretty much is my takeaway from him and how he felt about it. Seems like he cut ties. Seemed like he was still hurt, but he was content with the love that he shared with Jada. And so, the Smiths weren't really saying anything, and then stuff was swirling. And I guess Jada felt like I have to bring myself to the Red Table Talk. Now, I don't really watch the Red Table Talk, but I watched that little 12 minutes of my life, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I wasn't going to watch it. I was just going to watch people recap, but I was like, oh, it's 12 minutes. I got time today. Let's go ahead and watch it. So me and the hub sit there, we watch it. And it was clearly planned. And they clearly kind of rehearsed how they were going to say what they were going to say. And it was what I appreciated is that they were both there together. There were things that kind of made me wonder. And I'm not here to commentate on what happened. What I'm really wanting to bring to the light and what I'm shaking my curls is, and I don't know, because this hasn't happened in my marriage. Like, have I been cheated on as in a relationship? Yes. But I'm shaking my curls at what do you do after infidelity in your marriage? Like, how do you heal from that? How do you move forward from that? Can you move forward from that? Is that a deal breaker? I mean, if you're looking at vows, or even just biblically, if you're looking at, sin, is that something you can come back for? And that's just a question that I wonder, like, if your spouse was in an entanglement, sorry, and then the memes were just the internet does not, it just comes through every time. It does not play. But like, if you were in a situation where you were cheated on, how would you combat that? How would you move forward? Because I know sometimes you feel the need to get even and then you can move forward, or you think you can move forward. But then there's reasons, well, why did you do this in the first place? And I know some people stay together. I know people stay with spouses that have cheated and they go on continuing, but I don't know. I feel like I can't judge unless I'm in that, and praise sweet baby Jesus. I don't have that experience, but I just wonder, and I wonder if it's different for men, and if it's different for men being cheated on, or if it's different from women being cheated on. But from that interview, they both was out there, having their own entanglements and swinging their hair around and grabbing on to people and all that good stuff. I'm sorry, I saw the meme where they did the Tangled, and they had about 3. It was just really funny. But I'm shaking my curls at just kind of the thought of how do you go on? And I just find that very interesting. So I think it's a real interesting topic in marriage, and knowing what your deal breakers are and knowing what you can work through. And I'm prayerfully you never have to reach to that point where you're like, okay, you know what? This is where the rubber meets the road. But you might. So on to the next segment. What you chewing? Welcome to what I'm chewing. I don't have dinner for you today, but I just recently ordered from Thrive Market. And I just wanted to kind of walk you through everything that I ordered. Now, I had a coupon, so I did end up spending $60, but I saved $20, or I guess I didn't. I spent $60. People say that and it throws me off. But anyways, so I just kind of wanted to walk you through. So Thrive Market it's basically like Amazon for organic, good for you food. So you can sort through, I just ate, I apologize. You can sort through your dietary needs. For instance, if you're plant-based or vegan or kosher, gluten-free or paleo, keto, all that good stuff is on there. Or if you just want to have organic food, that's on there as well. So the first thing that I was very excited about getting is the free-to-eat super beef food penne noodles. These are gluten-free, and they are made Cybels, I think is how you say it. They are made with 4 ingredients. What? For real? Yes. Green lentils, kale, broccoli, and spinach. I don't know what I'm going to make with this penne, but I'm going to have fun with it. And it's 25 grams of plant protein. So this is going to be good. For a 3.5 ounce serving. So I'm going to make sure I get a 3.5 ounce serving. Okay, next up, I got 2 things of organic red lentils, and I'm just going to give one to my mom because she was trying to find a meal that had organic red lentils. Sorry for the noise in the background. I'm moving things around as I'm talking about the items. Next thing that I purchased was some organic cane sugar that is ethically sourced, and I was really excited about getting this because I just hear that. And I'll say this again because I got something else. The way the chemicals that are bleached in sugar kind of make it not that amazing for you. So I'm glad that Thrive Market, and I bought Thrive Market's brand, has this option where I can get organic, fair trade, non-GMO, ethical, all that good stuff. So, I mean, it's sugar made from the sugar cane. So, next up, I got organic all-purpose flour, which again, same reason. It's certified organic. It doesn't have any of those artificial ingredients or dyes or preservatives or additives. It's just straight up good. And it's interesting because what's cute about these brands is on the back, it counts down all the things that they are. And oh, okay. I see why they can't say that because it says it may be in proximity. That's interesting. I'll have to do some research about this sugar. Either way, I'm mostly plant-based. I'm not bugging if sugar was something within it was. I'm not that girl, so it's sugar. So I'm not gonna trip over it. Not saying that it's vegan or plant-based or whatever. So then I got 2 things of Heat and Eat pinto beans. I didn't actually know they were Heat and Eat, so this is cool. I am probably going to make bean burritos with this. And see, this one does say vegan. I'm gonna have to look it up. Next thing that I got, these are all from Thrive Market, Thrive Market's brand. I got organic elbow noodles, and I'm gonna use, these are gluten-free, and I'm gonna use these to make my vegan mac and cheese. Ooh, 5 grams of protein, not as much as those penne noodles. I also got 2 packs of jasmine rice, and these are Heat and Eat because we eat a lot of jasmine rice. So I think these are 1 serving size, but I'll probably break this up and make it 2 servings, and then I'll just put over some cilantro. Okay, I was very excited about getting tomato paste and garlic paste. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with either one of these, but I think they were on sale for like a couple bucks, so I just bought them. I got, speaking of noodles, these are called Miracle Noodles, and these are 0-calorie noodles that are pretty much like guilt-free noodles. They're vegan, gluten-free. I heard about them on Hungry Girl way back in the day, so I might look at her recipe, see what I can do. So I got 2 of those. A couple more things. I got brown short grain rice. Everyone needs rice. So without, further explanation, yeah, everyone needs rice. Rice is good. And I also got, I'm so excited about this too, organic protein pancake mix. I think this has about 8 servings in it. This is also gluten-free. This has about 8 servings in it, so that'll be great for us. We'll eat that about four times, so a whole month of that. Another thing that I was very eager to get is this avocado oil spray. So I can spray my pans, and it's just 1 ingredient, avocado oil. I don't like it when they have more than just olive oil or avocado oil in the spray thing. Like, ugh, don't tell me that. Then I got almond butter. Ooh, and it's sweetened. That was on sale, so I grabbed that. A few more things. I also got Gimme Organic Sea Salt Seaweed, and I used that just to munch on, but I also put it in dishes to kind of make things a little fishy. Cornstarch, organic cornstarch. I tend to use that a lot to make gravies and whatnot. So I thought maybe I should try, since I got the flour. Maybe it'd be best if I got organic cornstarch so that the whole recipe will be organic. And then I've been wanting to make something with chocolate chips forever, and I finally found organic chocolate chips. Yeah. And I found organic and vegan chocolate chips. So this is so exciting to see that it's free of dairy, egg, fish, gluten, oh my goodness, all these other weird things. Seriously, it's sweetened chocolate and cane sugar. And the mini chips, I mean, they say vegan right on the front. Cane sugar, unsweetened chocolate, cocoa butter. So I will leave a link in the show notes of how you can sign up for Thrive Market and you can start shopping. I think you'll truly love it if you're embarking on a more organic diet. They do have things marked down now, especially if you're buying the Thrive Market brand. That's always the best way to go. So I hope you give that a try. Okay, on to the next segment. Hello, and welcome to the main event. Today's topic is in honor of Minority Mental Health Month, which is July. But I believe it's now being called BIPOC Mental Health Month in connection with the new acronym BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, People of Color. So let's get into that new acronym and some support all our people of color. This article that I recently wrote was published on the Mental Health America Chiming In blog. Is something I'm super proud of, and I'm so excited to have this opportunity to be able to share my story and share my experience as a Black Christian woman that also is living with mental illness. And I've shared my mental illness story, so I'm not really going to go too deep into my mental illness or anything like that. But I will say this. I got a little nervous, like, oh God, what if like an employer sees this? But then I thought, well, considering what I'm trying to do, they'll probably be like, oh, she writes, she's a published author. I'm like, this is only going to be good. And the writing is pretty good in my opinion. So I just thought, oh, this is just a total perk. So it's called A Black Christian's Journey to Mental Wellness. And it was so important for me to capture my faith with mental illness, because I believe that there's such a stigma, not only in just with mental illness in general, but I think that there's a stigma specifically in the Black church. Because I remember like Christianity has set a foundation for me, like to be able to trust in stuff that I just couldn't touch. And I always say, like, I'm a visual person, but how can I be a Christian if I'm a visual person? Because I can't see them, but I know. So it's a little bit of faith that you have to have. And I don't mean to get preachy or anything like that, but I'm just kind of giving you my take. So I just remember growing up in the church, and people would say, oh, this person's crazy or insane. And y'all know I don't like either one of those words to describe anyone with a mental illness that's living with a mental illness. But these are what people would say. And within the church community, I feel like they would say, oh, this person, we're going to pray for this person, and it's going to offer them relief, or it'll help them get through the, in quotes, season of this person's life, but never really addressing the core issue and being like, you know what, I think you should go talk to a counselor. You know what, I think you should go seek a doctor, because it's an illness. It's not something you can see, but it is an illness, and it should be addressed like any other illness, under professional medical care and assistance. And I remember, I'm going to go on a sidebar, but I'm going to get to the point. I remember around this time when I was working at a mental health organization, I had asked the Speakers Bureau if they can come out and speak to some people at my church, or the congregation at my church, because I was very passionate about letting Black folks know that mental illness is not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be aware of, and it's something to take care of yourself with, and know how to use the proper tools to cope and just deal properly, I guess I should say. And so I was like a little nervous, but the pastor and his wife, which was also the assistant pastor at the time, were very open to having the guest come. So the guest comes, and because I work there, I know the person. And it's funny because when I was hired on, he called me too churchy. And I just think that's another guy wink. That's how God be working sometimes. He'd be like, oh, he thinks you're too churchy. You know what? A couple years from now, I'm going to bring him to your church and he's going to enjoy himself. Then he's going to understand why you are how you are. And I was like, you know what, God? Do your thing. Go on, do your thing. It took me a little time to come to that, but I mean, that if you just want an example of a God like that would be that just blows my mind. I'm like, wow, God, you really worked that out in ways I didn't see happening. But so he comes to the church and he gives a really interesting speech about mental illness and, you know, how it impacts our community, the Black community, and how what you can do for people that you may be suffering. So wonderful. So I'm like, all right, cool. I've started the conversation, but I didn't feel like I was equipped with everything. I didn't feel like I was knowledgeable of everything to be able to help. And so that's why I'm turning towards things like this podcast. And that's why last year I had, you know, four different guests on to talk about this topic. And why it's been so important for me to keep raising awareness about it, especially in these times of COVID-19, when you're at your house and, you know, there's could be a lot of things that you could do to spend your time that may not be productive and good for your health. And so that's kind of how the article moves. And so I can't wait for you guys to check that out. But kind of shifting a little bit, just for me, since I've been diagnosed since I was 24. Yeah, gosh, that's 6 years of this diagnosis. And I love it when my doctor is like, oh yeah, I'll see you in a couple months. You're doing fine. Actually, I don't even know when the next time I'm supposed to see my doctor, because literally all he's doing is checking my meds at this time. Like, and I'll just tell him if I'm too hype or not hype enough. But my therapist, I talk to her monthly, and it's really not about the diagnosis anymore. It's really a lot about life stuff. And so it's just a relief to have her, because I recently suffered from a family. We had a death in the family, and I wasn't sure if I should take bereavement days, because I just felt like I wasn't sure if I should. And she just was like, well, girl, go and do it. I mean, what are you talking about? It's not just for mourning, it's also for helping. And I was like, just take the time. And so I did. And so it's just nice to have a person that is like a unbiased opinion about things. I don't know. It's the more she's getting to know me, I'm kind of wondering if she is still non-biased, but whatever. It'll be. So I think through the past 6 years, I've really learned what kind of gets me triggered, I guess I should say. Because I know if I don't get enough sleep, I mean, what are we doing? Like, if I don't get enough sleep, I'm screwed. I'm screwed. So I have to make sure that I get enough sleep. I have to make sure that I am, of course, taking my medication. That's really helpful. And then I've also added in a vitamin, a plant-based fish oil, which is algae oil. So that really helps with the brain and all that good stuff. So I do that. And of course, like, these are just things that I do, and I'm just kind of reflecting over the past, years. I also kind of understand that I don't feel good when I just lay around. My husband will say, oh, well, don't you want to take a rest and just sit here? I'm like, yeah, my rest is going to be sitting on this couch on my laptop, looking up an article or reading something, because I'm not just going to take a nap in the middle of the day. That just makes me feel it makes me feel lazy and unproductive. And I think that's one of the things for me. It's like I need to be doing something throughout the day. Otherwise, I just feel like I wasted my whole day. Like if I get a bunch of stuff accomplished, I'm going to feel really good about myself. And I'm going to feel really good knowing that even though I may have like racing thoughts, I've powered through it. And I really don't. My medicine kind of helps with that. But if I have racing thoughts at a moment, I can not power through it. Power through it is not the right word, but I can like manage it, I think is the better word, through some techniques. And those techniques would just be filling my space. I've talked about grounding before, filling my space and just being aware of where I am, like being aware of how I'm feeling in the moment. That's been really helpful for me. Just, I think overall, really getting to know what happens when I'm on the brink, or I'm starting to get a little anxious, or I'm starting to get a little racing thoughts, just kind of learning how to mentally reduce that. Whether it be going to take a walk, whether it be grounding, whether it be stopping for a moment and taking a break, something like that, so I don't feel so pressured and triggered, if you will. I think those things truly help me move forward. I hope this has been helpful to you and just kind of informative. I definitely hope that you check out the article. It will be in the link in the bio. Link in the show notes. I'm talking to you like I'm on Instagram. I'm bugging. It'll be in the link in the there'll be a link in the show notes that you can check that out, and it'll be on my Facebook page, all that good stuff. So just check it out, read it, share it. That'll be great, because I definitely wrote the article thinking, oh my gosh, there's probably some young woman that could just, a young Black woman that could just know she's going to be okay, and that this is just a second in her life, and she's going to be so much stronger after she learns how to take care of herself properly. Okay, on to the next segment. The positive tip might be a little different. I have always said, if people were just a smidgy bit selfish, what would this world be like if people stopped worrying about others and they worried about themselves? And I mean, yes, be concerned about your core group, your family or whatever. But I literally wonder if people would just like focus on them for a whole year. What would this world be like? Would there be less? And you see, I'm not perfect, but when it comes to your mental well-being, if you focused on your mental well-being, if you focused on taking care of yourself rather than judging someone who looks different than you, what would happen? That is just a thought that I'm going to leave you with. And until next week, you can find me on my website at youngblackmissespodcast.com or on Facebook and Instagram at youngblackmisses. And I haven't gotten to the next week's show, so I can't give you any, this is what we're working on for next week. But as always, stop right now. Thank you very much. Almost forgot. And take a screenshot of your device that you're listening to this on and tag me in it on Instagram and your stories. I can't wait to share one. Okay, until next week, peace.